Hello again, race fans, and welcome. It's Sunday night here on VirtualRacing.Network, and you know what that means. It's time for the Icon Cup Series. It's live iRacing on VirtualRacing.Network. Tonight, the Icon Cup Series 2023 visits the Bristol Motor Speedway. There's racing, and then there's Bristol. 250 laps tonight. And we are expecting some very close, exciting racing here as we get into this final round of the regular season for 2023. Hello again, everybody. I'm Trevor Greenfield, and once again, joined by my compadre in the booth, team owner here in the Icon Cup Series, and legendary sim racer himself, Christian Snyder. Christian, welcome to the broadcast again, and what are we looking forward to tonight here at Bristol?
Based on watching some practice and hearing from my drivers, it seems like it's going to be a very outside dominant track here tonight. So not like we saw in real life where you saw the bottom run the majority of the beginning of the race and then they migrated to the top. From what I'm hearing, it's going to be high side right away, right up against the wall is the fast way around this track. 14.4s are the quickest times right now in practice. Some barely got into the 14.3s, so some insane lap times here at Bristol. Definitely faster than we've seen in real life in quite some time. So going to be interesting to see how these guys handle it tonight, because these cars are wicked fast around this track.
Well, you pretty much blink and it's over. It's one of those types of lap times out here where you got to be on the wheel and aware of everything. And you're not just, of course, going around here by yourself unless it's qualifying here. You have 23 other competitors out there with you at all times, so you've got to stay wary of everybody on the track. There are a couple of rule changes tonight because of the very short track and how messy it could possibly be. We might be seeing some quick cautions out there, so we'll keep watching for that. And in addition, no more single file cautions. We're going strictly to double file cautions out there. Now, taking a look quickly over at our drivers' points, this is how they shape up for overall following Kansas. Now, that was a great race there at Kansas for those of you that had joined in with us. So much fun. Brian Smith already gotten 3 wins. Scott Patton, 2 wins. Ryan Patty with a win. Now Cody Neal joins the ranks there with a win as well. Justin Michael with a win. Nathan Finnegan with a win now. Justin Michael sitting out qualifying. He's going to be not able to qualify, so he'll be looking to get a start from the back of the field, but he won't need to get any points tonight as he's already in the playoffs. Ronnie Norman, best of the rest right now in 7th place. Adam Ball, Timothy Harper in 9th. Vincent Loria back there in 10th. And looks like Justin Bissonette in 11th place. Cody Eldred in 12th. Sean Purcell 13th. And Cody Height. These 3 drivers there looking to get their way in. So they will be fighting it out. And now we take a look over here. And you can see Ryan Patty is the top of the drivers in the regular season with the most points. So this is for the regular season championship. 2nd place, Brian Smith. And 3rd place, Ronnie Norman. 4th place, Cody Neal. 5th, Nathan Finnegan. Adam Ball in 5th place. So, 6th place, excuse me. So we watch on to see how they will end up in this regular season and who will take the regular season crown. But exciting stuff out there, Christian.
Yeah, definitely exciting stuff. And seeing Ronnie Norman up there so high in the regular season championship, no surprise. He won the regular season championship over in the Nora Cup Series. So he's trying to go perfect 2 for 2 on that card there.
Well, certainly, it's been an exciting season, Christian. Looking at everybody who's trying to get in here for the final race of the season and make it into the playoffs. Pretty exciting stuff to be bringing it all down here for Bristol. What a place to do it. If you're if you're trying to make it in, you're trying to get maybe a win here. You're trying to just make it over that hurdle and be able to get into the playoffs. I mean, what's your strategy here if you are trying to get into the playoffs? Do you just go into survival mode? What do you think?
Yeah, you already knew what I was going to say. Survive. That's the strategy whenever you come to Bristol. This track is a different animal. You never know what's going to happen. It's kind of like a super speedway in that sense. But uh, the cars are out here on the grid. We'll go through our starting lineup here tonight. Uh, Once we're ready for that, looks like Brian Smith on pole, Jackson Glenn Austin outside of him, Ryan Patty and Kyle Gilbert in row 2 there. Ronnie Norman in 5th with Nathan Finnegan in 6th. Tim Harper 7th with Sean Purcell to his outside there. Cody Neal and Adam Ball round out the top 10 there. Vincent Loria and Kyle Purcell on row 6 with Justin Bissonette, Anthony Campbell. Row 7. Row 8 is Mike Jennings and Cody Height. Cody Height pretty far back there. He's trying to get into the playoffs. He's I think 3 points out, so rough start there. Going to have to come from the back, but Thomas Taylor and Brad Delph in the next row, and then Brock Hersey and Brendan Jenks in row 10 with Stephen Tuck behind them. Justin Michael unable to qualify, starting 22nd with Cody Eldred and Hanover Fist in 24th, rounding out the field tonight.
Well, nice solid field in there for the final round of the season. Should be some exciting stuff. As we said, it's lined up this way over the course of the season. Of quite a few different winners here already in the Icon Cup Series in this inaugural season. And of course, some of our best stars, as always, over in our YouTube chat room. So great to have all y'all joining us. Stephen Dombrowski, hello. Trevor and Christian, looking forward to a great night. Pulling for Ronnie to get his first win of the season. He's already up there in the points, Stephen. Of course, we appreciate you joining in, as always. But wouldn't it be just sweet for him to take victory and be able to possibly clinch that regular season? Can he take it? Would he get enough points with the victory to be able to get that regular season title?
It's going to be close. He's going to have both Brian Smith and Patty have some trouble here tonight, but it's possible. But I think he's locked in for the playoffs on points, but they just didn't put him in as locked in because he's 56 to the good. So he is, I'm pretty sure, locked in because the most points you can get is, I think, 50 in one race.
Absolutely. So either way, you just go out there, you get as many points as you can. That's the key. And the only way that you're going to get the max amount of points is to be there at the end, and it's easier said than done at a place where the lap times are less than 15 seconds. But that's the nature of the beast. This concrete track has seen so many great winners in real life over the years, and being able to join that set of awesome winners at the end of things here tonight, it would be something else. Might we see somebody who isn't even one of these favorites, who's not even at the top of the points, be able to take victory? Maybe so, and get into those playoffs. We'll find out. Brian Smith going to charge into turn number 1 first with Jackson Glenn Austin on the outside. Ryan Patty looking on from third. There's Kyle Gilbert as well. Right there, Nathan Finnegan going to try to make that move down the inside. Still a battle up front for position. See Ronnie Norman right now also challenging for position back here in the 7th and 8th spot. But back up front, Jackson Glenn Austin continues to stay on that rear bumper of Brian Smith.
Man, these cars are very quick. We got a car around already here. It looks like Bissonette in the 06. Cody Height involved. This is not how he wanted to start his race. He's almost in a must-win situation in points. So, maybe that's not Cody Height. Just a car similar.
Well, we'll back it up here. Take a look at what happened to Bissonette. See whether he just gets caught up in another person's incident or not. You see him there in the yellow, and it is, in fact, I believe that's the 72 of Delph that he gets wrapped up in. I see Cody Height getting tagged with a note here in our system, and I'm not
Brendan
sure.
Jenks also involved as well.
Yeah, so
And that was the 73 of Campbell on his outside. So
was it now? Okay, there we go. So we'll take a look. Anthony Campbell, fan favorite in the chat room, just kind of staying on the outside in the corner there. And it looks like...
Oh, Bissonette thought he was clear.
Yeah.
Tried coming up in front of Campbell and just gets turned around on Campbell's nose there. And then trying to avoid it, Cody Height and Brendan Jenks get involved. Let's ride on board here with Brendan Jenks in the 38 full send machine. Here he comes, coming out of turn 4 there. Wreck is happening, just not able to see it, and piles right into the back of Cody Height there. A little bit of radiator damage, might not hurt too bad here at Bristol. Considering the amount of high speeds that they have, he'll probably be a little bit slow on the straightaway, but shouldn't have to worry in the corners.
Come on board with Height. He goes just high of Mike Jennings, and once again, no place to go, makes contact with Bissonette. That's two of the drivers right there that wanted a win tonight to get in, make sure that they were on the right side of the ledger to get into the playoffs. And looks like Bissonette, Jenks, and Cody Height taking damage repair at the moment. So already seen some difficulty here as we're just in the early going of round number 11 of the regular season for the Icon Cup Series, and it's been just a spectacular first season. We've seen some really great fields, some great draws here, great talent pool. Of course, we broadcast the NORA Cup Series here on VirtualRacing.Network, and so great to see a lot of those NORA drivers come over into Icon and be able to take advantage of it. So watching on here under caution for the very first time. And Christian, I'll tell you what, it's too bad for Brendan. It seems like he just cannot buy a break.
Yeah, he's been having a rough season. I think everyone on Full Send across all 3 series are having a rough season. So he's just getting the Full Send Esports curse and getting some trouble every single race, it seems, and just can't catch a break.
Well, it'll come sooner or later. You know how these things go in cycles for sure. Checking in over here, though, it looks like Foreman up for this restart. You got Brian Smith, Jackson Glenn Austin. Brian Smith already in, but Glenn Austin would love to punch his ticket with a victory. Here we go again. Under green once again here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and it looks like Kyle Gilbert got up there, but very quickly that position taken away by Patty just in front. Now they race side by side back here for 5th place. This is Purcell and Finnegan. Now they more or less move back in line. And now you see Ronnie Norman hanging out on the outside there. Is Norman going to be able to get by Tim Harper on the inside?
He's trying on the outside there. He has a really good run. The outside is the place to be right now. The inside just not quite there. And Ronnie is going to clear Tim Harper. And now you see Nathan Finnegan trying on the outside here. Ryan Patty has a run down the front stretch. Yeah, the outside just has so much momentum that's the place to be right now.
Well, you notice Patty has now drifted back a few spots from where he just was. So he's trying that inside line, but it is not the way to go. He cuts off Ronnie Norman.
Man, did he ever.
He slides right up the track in front of Norman with nowhere to go for Storm and Norman. He's gonna
tell you what, these two have gotten in a few incidents with each other over the past few weeks that we've been covering Icon. I think these two just can't get away from each other, the 18 and 30.
Well, as long as Ryan keeps trying that inside line, Ronnie's doing the outside line, and it seems to be working pretty well for him. Also of note, it looks like Hanover Fist has brought it down the pit lane. So he is currently out of contention in this one. And we look a little bit further back. There's Cody Neal having a battle with Ryan Patty. He's now trying that outside line on Ryan Patty. Patty's all the way back into 8th. I do wonder if he didn't make a little bit of contact or something else, because he has slid back very quickly. But also, Glenn Austin having a moment. He's now decided to make it into the pits. Has he had a moment while we were off camera?
Oh, we got a caution.
We do have a caution, and I'm trying to see who this is for. It's for Anthony Campbell and Cody Eldred caught in this one. Campbell possibly in another caution here.
I think it's the same exact thing here. I think he gets pulled up in front of and has nowhere to go, and Campbell just gets into it here. Here it comes. Oh, yep. Same exact thing, man.
Yeah, he didn't really, there was no place for him to go. He just kind of was staying in his lane on the outside, and unfortunately, Cody...
Oh, who wants to go first? You want to go first?
But
it's like backing out of a parking lot. Who wants to go first there?
I'm not sure what happened. Let's see if we can back up for Glenn Austin, because it looked like everything was going fine. Here he is racing. See, now he pulls down. Was this a planned pit stop? I'm not 100% sure. Let's watch this. I think at this point he's already losing time on the track. He is losing time pretty considerably, so we'll back up another couple of laps here and try and see a few drivers making their way into pit lane. Thomas Taylor, Justin Bissonette, Anthony Campbell, Stephen Campbell. Stephen Tuck, Hanover Fist, all down there on pit lane. So, I don't know. I can't really see.
That's puzzling.
It is.
He just pulls down right here.
He does. It's Gilbert gets by, and then
he's off the pace already, and then he just pulls it down right here.
Well, my only thought is that maybe one of the earlier laps, we just didn't see it. And
it could have been a restart violation as well. That could be a possibility, because he was on the front row.
Oh, definitely. Definitely a possibility. Well, we are under caution for the second time. I have a feeling we might see a couple of cautions tonight. It is a possibility.
Hopefully no one went into this thinking about a drinking game for the cautions, or you will be on the floor by the end of the night.
Depends on what kind of week you had. It is Sunday.
I know personally my day is terrible.
Well, good thing you've got this broadcast to keep you going.
Absolutely. Football season is stressful. Let's just say that.
Yep. Well, and especially you guys have fantasy going with Josh and everybody over in Nora, right?
Well, they have it. I didn't join fantasy. I'm more of the the FanDuel bettor. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, and just think all that money that I save. Stage, we'll have a stage caution here tonight on the completion of lap number 70, and fuel window here tonight about 120 to 130 laps. But of course, Christian, that probably doesn't mean anything, as we more than likely will not see any sort of green flag runs that could get us to 120 or 130 laps. But we'll see. Again, if the tires hold out, these guys, as long as there's not too much damage on their cars, they may decide to stay out there for quite a long time. We'll have to see how these tires play out.
Yeah. I definitely don't see any of the front 10 pitting before the stage, which the stage is at lap 70. So these guys are probably going to go to the stage without pitting. But green flag back in the air here. Brian Smith takes a great restart over Kyle Gilbert and easily going to clear for the lead here.
Beautiful move there to stay in front for Smith, but here comes Gilbert racing side by side with Purcell and Finnegan, trying to stay up there in that top position. Purcell pulls it down to the low side, blocks Gilbert from being able to get ahead, and you see Finnegan able to pull ahead now of Gilbert as well. So Finnegan now up into that third spot. He's up 3 positions. How about Purcell up 5 positions? But here comes Finnegan on the outside into the second place.
Yeah, that outside just working a lot more than what the inside is. I'm kind of surprised Finnegan just dropped it down there. He's got to stay up high to run down Brian Smith. The outside is the place to be right now, and will be throughout the entire night.
Here's another driver that's come forward a few positions. How about Tim Harper? He's another one of those drivers that is looking for a win here tonight. Make sure that he gets on into the playoffs. He's come forward 3 positions so far, and now Purcell has started to drift backwards. So it's kind of like there's a curse going on out there. You get up towards the front, and then you get flung to the back. Not sure what's going on there, but right now some of these drivers having some difficulty.
Yeah, Purcell, he's running the bottom. He may not feel comfortable with going up there near the wall and just running the bottom, and that's just not the way to run fast around here. You're probably going to see Cody Neal jump up to the top and go around Purcell here possibly this lap. So here he goes.
He goes to
he's
the
top.
top.
Go up to the top.
Purcell going to stick with that low line. Now, is there a chance that low line is going to start to come in as this track gets rubbered in a little bit more?
It's possible. I don't think it's likely, but it's definitely possible. You can see patience starting to wear thin there for Cody Neal. He's liking the bottom too, and Purcell's taking that lane away from him, so he gave him a little tap there last corner, and he's trying to get something working on the bottom. But up ahead, it looks like Harper and Gilbert side by side for third. Harper running the bottom, trying to get around Gilbert.
Kyle Gilbert sticks on the outside. Harper on that inside line.
Russian is out.
And Thomas
right
Taylor.
There it is.
Sideways, the number 57 machine sitting athwartships on the track.
He's going to need to apply gain to that car and clean it off a little bit.
This track is banked so heavily that there is some weird stuff here with trying to get going on the banking. You see some real damage to the front end of that machine. So take a step back here and see what we can see from the Snyder Graphics chopper. There we go. And he just gets loose, little tank slapper, and right into the wall. Rearranges the front end on that number 57 machine. Here's how it looked from on board. Very nice and smooth through the corner. He applies a little bit more, I think, steering angle than you would like as when he's exiting the corner, and I think it kind of caught and started to send the car around in a slide.
You can see his helmet camera was pointed down there for a while. He was making sure he had his toes still, making sure they were wiggling.
Indeed.
His virtual toes there.
His virtual toes. You always do need to. After an incident quite like that one, take your hands off the wheel. Check all of your extremities. And we got Cody Hyde on YouTube checking in there to the pits once again. So perhaps still getting some damage repair. So, hey, if you're out there watching at YouTube, we certainly do appreciate it. Make sure you are subscribed. This is the hot and heavy part of the season. We're just getting into the playoffs here in Icon starting next week, and we are in the thick of it. Just about to go into the rounds of, the second rounds of the playoffs in the Nora Truck and Cup Series. So you will want to be part of the iRacing extravaganza here on VirtualRacing.Network over the next handful of weeks, 6 to 9 weeks here It's going to be an awesome shootout to the finish in all three of the series that we cover here live. And of course, if you're handy and you can click on that like button as well, we'll make sure we get this thing shared out over the internetosphere to all the people that can discover it on the YouTube. So that's always handy.
Last week it was the YouTubeosphere, I think it was.
I'm just trying to use technical terms for everybody so that we can make sure that we're specific and everybody, is that they're aware of the
internetosphere.
The internet, absolutely. We can't joke around about serious topics like that, Christian. Here's Brian Smith. He's already into the playoffs. So is Nathan Finnegan next to him. But you know who would love to bust in there with a big old win? How about Kyle Gilbert? How about Tim Harper? These guys would love to steal a victory. You got Ronnie Norman there, Sean Purcell. All of these drivers would absolutely love to steal victory here tonight. So we watch on. We'll see whether that can happen. Brian Smith about to step on that loud pedal. Push that thing across the start-finish line. He gets into the wall just a little bit on the outside. Probably no harm, no foul. They fan out behind. Too wide for Finnegan and Gilbert. Just behind. Still racing it out for second place. Gilbert on that high side holds on to second place. Finnegan starts drifting backwards on the low line. And again, very quickly, Christian, that high line is starting to pay off dividends. Here comes Tim Harper. He's going to try to push his way by the already race winner, Nathan Finnegan. Finnegan gets a good edge off of the corner, but that high side momentum is nothing to be laughed at. Goes right on by.
Yeah, Finnegan just trying to stay with him, just unable to. That outside is just really put together right now. It's not quite fully rubbered in, but it's able to produce some big runs down the straightaway. And now Harper are going to try to get around Kyle Gilbert using the bottom. He may just have a better feel for Bristol. Maybe he's getting that bottom to work, but he's able to get beside him in the corner, but you can see the momentum just carries Gilbert off the corner. Wow, Harper really loose there.
Well, he's trying to pinch it down there and hold the momentum, but you know what that means. You can get very loose coming off of the corner. Harper,
he's got to watch out because here comes Ronnie Norman using that top. He's going to go around Finnegan, and he's going to try to get up there beside Harper now.
Meanwhile, how about 1.3 seconds, 1.4 seconds now? The gap for Brian Smith as all this racing has just allowed him to escape off into the distance. So putting a lot of time behind himself. As now Harper going to challenge that low line back here on Gilbert once again, but
Harper's got to stay cool here. He's got to realize that he just needs a good finish. He doesn't need to go out there and wreck his car. He just needs to have a solid finish tonight, and he'll be able to make the playoffs. He doesn't need that second place right now, especially 20 laps to go here in Stage 1. Looks like Ronnie Norman was just in the wall there for a little bit.
And as a result, he pulls a little bit back from that battle that he was just starting to get up into. You know, trying to tell Tim Harper to back off of trying to go for a win is about like trying to put your hand up and stop a bull from going through a cape or a wall or something. It just is not going to work. But we'll see whether or not he gets the picture, tries that high side, goes a little bit into conservative mode. Now we take a look. This guy was involved in that incident early on. Christian, how about this car over at Full Send Esports? I don't know what your guys did in the pits, but he's up 13 positions into 7th place.
Yeah, he must not have had any radiator damage whenever he got into the back of Cody Height, just some cosmetics. And cosmetics at Bristol is absolutely nothing. You can run here without a rear bumper, a quarter panel, and still be good. So he's doing a great job at recovering, and I think he's got newer tires than these guys, so I think that's why he has moved up so far.
Well, and it may be one of those situations where they went and they pounded that thing out, and in fact, they made it run better than it did at the start of the race.
Yeah, that's always a possibility, you know. In real life, whenever these cars get damaged, it seems like they get faster if you get like a certain part of the car damaged. So maybe that's what happened there to that 38 car.
Oh, we've got cars in the
Oh
wall.
man,
There's Brad Delp involved, Ryan Patty. He was looking so promising, and quite a few cars involved in the middle of this one.
looks like Steven Tuck has some severe damage to that right front.
We'll take a look at Patty, and let's see if we can tell exactly what took place. There he goes into the corner. Purcell just up in front. Purcell gets into a 3-wide sandwich with Bissonette, the 72 involved, the 19 involved.
Yeah, just nowhere for Ryan to go there. He was reacting to the contact in front of him. Didn't check up enough, got into the side of Purcell and sent that thing around. Purcell, I think, had it saved. But then Ryan Patty came up and Purcell kind of drifted up the track a little bit, and around they go.
A little bit better look on board here.
I think that was netcode between him and Bissonette that kind of initiated that contact.
As a result, seeing quite a few drivers coming in. Here's Kyle Purcell, Adam Ball, Brendan Jenks making a pit stop. Hanover Fist still in the pits. How about we take a look from Brad Delp's point of view? This is how quickly it goes from running in the top 15 to potential night ender. It doesn't look like the, well, I can't tell if the damage was too bad, but I heard some crunching. Oh, that is a punched in front nose on that machine, and that is going to take some serious repair on pit lane. Coming back to the live picture, Brendan Jenks just emerging from his pit stop. Kyle Purcell still in the pits. Adam Ball, Brad Delf, Ryan Patty, now Steven Tuck making his way into the pits. And that machine has a little bit of damage on it as well. So we are under our 4th caution here tonight. Looking to make it another 10 laps or so until our stage caution. So these drivers are going to be well aware of that, trying to make a decision right now. How do you play this one on strategy? We already know how some of the top drivers have chosen. Brendan Jenks choosing to come in, go ahead, get that pit stop done. Pulling out of the top 10.
Sorry to interrupt. You got to wonder when the new rule is going to come in handy. They said that they would start doing quickie cautions, depending on how many cautions they had. So those quickie cautions, basically, if you're a lap down or something, you're not going to really get an opportunity to pit. You're going to have to pit with the leaders, and then it'll immediately go to 2 to green. So curious if that will be implemented here tonight. Some new rules mid-season for these guys. Of course, first season for them, so they're always improving each week on the rule book, and I applaud the effort that these admins are making to make this a better show.
Yeah, definitely. I have a feeling, it's something that could catch people out. Like, if you're planning on making a pit stop on the next round, and then it's a quickie caution, you don't get that opportunity if you're a lap down or something, that could be a problem. So, I do know that it's the same for everybody. So, whatever it is, it is. We're back underway here on lap number 63. Brian Smith has that big gap erased, and he'll have to do it all over again. Kyle Gilbert in second again. Where have we seen this before? He now slides backwards as he's stuck on that low line. And here comes Nathan Finnegan with a big run. Is he going to try to take it down to the low side? He does. Does he have the momentum to actually get the pass done on Harper on that low side? I don't know that we've seen anybody actually be able to pull off a pass on the low side yet.
Yeah, the only way he's going to be able to complete a pass is if Harper tags the wall or has to get out of the gas on that outside lane. I mean, he's making it work as good as he can here. He's staying pretty even with him, but Harper just ever so slightly gets the momentum out of the corners and is able to kind of have the lead going into the corners.
Still side by side for position, Finnegan and Harper racing it out. Just behind Gilbert and Neal racing it out. Neal, last week's winner at Kansas by the slimmest of margins.
Harper got into the wall, and now Finnegan is going to clear him.
Well, Harper drifting up in the wall, easy thing to do, but as a result, there goes Finnegan marching off into second place. And now Neal almost gets into Harper back here as Gilbert and Neal racing side by side back here for the fourth place.
2 to go in the stage here.
Just 2 to go. We'll see it here momentarily. Ooh. Brian Smith well out in front of this one. 9/10 of a second in front of Nathan Finnegan. He's probably going to end up taking this, but who will take third? Tim Harper right now still up in that third spot. Looks like Gilbert going to get stacked up behind. Completion of this lap will be, and Gilbert gets turned several cars around. Vincent Loria, I believe, a big part of that one as the caution came out and nowhere to go. Loria slams into the back of Gilbert.
Listen, I get that the top 5 get stage points, but that was just an unnecessary move coming out of the corner on the last lap of the stage. You don't need to punt a guy for that, and you can tell Gilbert's mad. He's driving mad and trying to get up there to Vincent. I don't blame him.
Well, let's take a look at it, Christian. Perhaps you can tell us better what happens here. See Harper kind of slowing down. Gilbert gets stacked up. Loria gets up there almost into the back of Gilbert there, and he just taps the back end of Gilbert.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's racing for a top 5 in stage 1 and just racing over aggressively, and man, that's rough for Gilbert, Norman, whoever else was collected in that.
Well,
it's just too early to be racing that way.
I got Eldred, Purcell, Thomas Taylor, Ryan Patty, Adam Ball, Bissonette, a lot of drivers slowing down at least for that accident. Let's take a look from Loria's point of view and see how this one looked. And you decide out there for yourselves whether this is a bit aggressive or not. We'll watch on board here. Goes up, almost gets into Gilbert. Turns him into...
Yeah, he did touch him going into the corner. It sent Gilbert up a little bit, and that's kind of the reason that he had to check up so much on exit, too. And then Vincent just kind of finished him off on the exit there.
Well, let's watch from Ronnie Norman's point of view.
Yeah, this is unfortunate for him. He just needed a clean night here to make sure he gets into the playoffs. Riding on board here, you see the contact and just nowhere for him to go. Gets hit in that right front pretty severely, too.
Well, as long as it doesn't damage the steering too badly, that might just be incidental contact on Norman's machine. To see if... No, it looks like he's okay. We'll have to see at speed whether or not it's alright. But certainly Norman not going to be pleased with that, as a number of drivers not going to be pleased with that. However, Brendan Jenks, as a result of pitting earlier, a number of these drivers did. Jenks, Delph, Purcell, Ball, and Ball being the last one who pitted earlier. They are now at the front of the field, and it looks like Smith, Finnegan, Harper, Cody Neal, the first of the drivers who pitted.
Yeah, and I think this call to start on the inside for Brendan Jenks, I don't like it. I like the outside for the restarts, but I think either way he's going to clear the 72 before the corner. It's just a matter of if he's able to clear or cover the top on the exit on out of turn 2.
Well, checking in over in YouTube as we're just getting this one going again. Steven Dombrowski says, almost ruined several drivers' night. Way too early, penalize him. So, well, not up to us. See what Icon Cup Series decides to do. They do tend to look at these things afterwards and make those decisions. Brendan Jenks leading it back here with Delph just behind. And Delph going to take a look down the inside of Jinx now for position, and we'll see whether Jinx can hold that position, staying on the outside.
And both of these guys involved in an early incident. You can see the damage on the 72. The front bumper is a little caved in. Same with the 38, just a little less than the 72. So these two being up front is impressive to rebound and have this good of a run. But look at Brian Smith with those new tires. Here he comes on the outside of Brad Delph in the 72, and now he's going to roll the top, get underneath Brendan Jenks,
but
a caution comes out.
For Bissonette. Who himself has an issue. We'll back it up here and see if we can take a look at what happened. This is Bissonette coming up on the back of Sean Purcell, and
just gets loose, and Ryan Patty hard into the door of him, but luckily that was in the door and not on the tires. I don't think he'll have any suspension damage, but Patty's got to watch out for possibly some radiator damage, but I don't think that hit was hard enough. I'll have to take a look here. He just gets loose right there. Tank slaps it, and it was to his rear tire. Ooh. So hopefully Bissonette doesn't have a suspension problem in that rear end.
Well, rough deal there for them. I also see that potentially Cody Neal had a problem. Vincent Loria now pulling it down onto pit lane. I'm not sure. We'll take a look here and see whether Neal was in this one or not, or if he just decided to pull it down to a stop. Looks like he just pulls down to a stop. He doesn't actually crash into anybody. Back to the live picture. Vincent Loria taking advantage of this caution and bringing it down onto pit lane.
From our fuel mileage, it was about 130 laps, I think, from what Ryan was talking to us earlier. Anywhere between 120 to 130. So let's see. My math isn't too good, but I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we're about 50 laps away from reaching our fuel window. So if a caution comes out in about 50 or 60 laps, expect everyone to come in, top off on fuel, and then they'll be good for the rest of the race.
Certainly will watch for that. The earliest that anyone could come in to hit that, let's just be conservative on that 130 laps, would be on lap 120. Which is just under 40 laps from now, about 37 laps from now. So we'll see whether or not, some people try that undercut strategy that's been so successful. Here tonight, it's nighttime. Tire fall off, not quite as bad over, say, 10 laps or 15 laps. Some people might just wait it out and take the lesser pit stop time. That might be the better way to go. Just go as far as your tank can take you instead of trying that undercut strategy. But, hey, I'm up here in the booth. They're down there on the track. They got to make that call. Always the tricky one to decide exactly when you're going to come in. Brendan Jenks, your leader here at Bristol Motor Speedway. You're watching live Icon Cup Series coverage. This is the regular season finale, round number 11. Of this terrific premier NASCAR Next Gen series that has just started up this season, and we're so proud to bring you all of this very first season, including the aforementioned playoffs that are yet to come here very shortly. So
after tonight, playoffs are going to start. The playoff mentality, as soon as the checkered flag falls, everyone's going to be in playoff mode.
For sure. Well, a lot of drivers already kind of thinking that way. But here we go. We're back underway again here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Brendan Jenks in control, but for how long? Here comes Brian Smith. He seizes the opportunity and punches that machine down to the low side and takes position.
Problems.
We've got, I believe, Tim Harper having an issue back here.
Good save, though.
Getting loose coming off of the corner. By the way, in case you were wondering if that was fast, Brian Smith that time, fastest lap of the race, 14.47.
Yeah, just no contest at all for Brendan Jenks. He tried his best to hold him up, but Brian Smith on those newer, fresher tires, able to fly around him. Obviously the pole sitter, so he's got the speed. So that and the new tires was just way too much for Jenks to hold off.
Well, and that first lap was pretty magical, but I'll tell you what, just keeping track now, looks like he and Jenks running similar lap times. So I don't know if maybe just getting behind, but Jenks might have clued into something that he can do behind the wheel, following behind Smith. You know, it's so different when you're not racing side by side with somebody and you got a little bit of clear air. You do have the ability to kind of run up and down the track a bit. So perhaps Jenks noticing some things about entering mid-corner exit that he might be able to duplicate here, as once again, looking at their lap times, 14:67 to 14:69 for these two. So putting down some pretty good laps for Brendan Jenks, who's on the older tires. How about Nathan Finnegan having a good race right now, running in third place, up 3 positions, not nearly the 18 positions gained of Jenks up in front, but side by side now for Brad Delph and Cody Neal. Neal up 4 spots and Delph up 14 spots here tonight. Racing side by side. There goes Neal on the low side, making that work, as they both actually came in. Well, actually, no, I take it back. Neal came in on 72, the same lap that Smith came in, and Delph came in on the same lap as Jenks. So that's why with the older tires, and now Delph going to be kind of a sitting duck here.
Yeah, Cody Neal, a teammate to Brian Smith, so you got to wonder if Brian is telling him where the lane is and how to run the track and helping him out as much as he can to get him up toward the front. Having a great run again after last week winning at Kansas.
Yeah, and Neal has been up there as well, but you definitely got to believe that is giving him some great confidence boost, having officially taken that win. And Kyle Gilbert now slides up in front of Brad Delph. Gilbert, one of those cars with the newer tires. And the fall off on those new tires, not too bad, as Brian Smith last time by a 14.72. Nathan Finnegan, a 14.90. Brendan Jenks, 14.92. So definitely faster on those newer tires, as I believe we've got some cars having some incidents a little bit further back, perhaps. I'm hearing some crunching, but no cautions as of yet. Vincent Loria, Ronnie Norman just up in front. They're trying to march his way back through the field, currently sitting in 12th place. So again, damage not too bad on that Norman number 18 machine. Starting to come back forward. Ryan Patty, despite the number of incidents that he has been in, he now goes by the outside of Sean Purcell. That is for 10th place, so back up into the top 10. And just behind there's Ronnie Norman. He just barely clears Purcell. Yeah, in fact, I did. It was that's some sketchy stuff.
He had the tail kicked out there, man. Someone's going to update him and tell him this isn't the dirt track. He doesn't need to be riding the cushion.
Absolutely. Well, that was a lot of fun when we did do the dirt Bristol for Nora earlier on in the season, but Icon here on the asphalt, and what a lot of fun it is to get back to the real track. Patty up on the high side, now back up into 9th place as Adam Ball continues to fall down through the field. Ball now one of those drivers that came in there on lap number 59 along with Jenks and Brad Delph. And so he's starting to fall down through the order now, all the way back down into 14th. And speaking of those front runners, there at 313 Motorsports, it's now, they're in first and second. So Brian Smith out in front, Cody Neal in second. Color City Racing's Nathan Finnegan tracking them now in third. Brendan Jenks back here into fourth position after all is said and done, but still holding on okay. Right now, right around the lap times that he needs to be running to actually stay up there. So Jenks doing a pretty nifty job on those old tires to stay up there in the top 5.
Yeah, today one of the first times I was able to actually chat with him and give him a little good luck for tonight's race. I talked to him before the race, and usually I like to talk to the drivers on my team before the race and see what the situation is for them and if I can help them in any way. And he didn't need any help tonight. He was running top 3 in practice there for a while, so really happy about the performance there out of the 38.
Well, we watch on now as they go 3 wide.
Whoa.
Ronnie Norman on the high side of Mike Jennings. Stormin' Norman, as he's known. Steven Dombrowski watching on, and this is about as aggressive of racing as I have seen out of Ronnie Norman. He wants back up to the front, and he wants it in a hurry.
Yeah, that is mad Ronnie that you're seeing right now. We typically don't see that, but he is driving mad because he does not like the fact that he was caught up in that unnecessary incident earlier. Tell you what, we got a pretty good green flag run going here. Pit stops could possibly happen. Maybe green flag stops, but I doubt it. But the fuel window should open here in about 6 to 7 laps to make it to the end. So if a caution comes out now, it's going to be very close on fuel to the end, but you might see a lot of cars come into the pits.
Well, if they could stretch it to 140 laps, this would be the time when they would start coming in under green flag. But you just
lose
think
so much time under green.
You do.
You lose 2 laps.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense to go and stay out there as long as you can. The tire fall off is not that bad. Right now, 15:36 for the leader, Brian Smith. There's now a side-by-side battle here for Cody Neal and Nathan Finnegan for the second spot. Finnegan moves up into that second spot.
Yeah, use the inside to pass Cody Neal there. We haven't seen that all night, and Finnegan we've seen just consistently using the bottom throughout the entire night, finally able to make a pass.
Well, a little faster than Cody Neal, but still not, well, just as I say that, he is faster than Brian Smith. So we watch these two here competing for lap times. Gonna have to deal with a lap car just up in front.
About 6/100ths of a second quicker was Smith a couple laps ago, but now you can see just how much Finnegan is running him down 2/10ths quicker that last lap, and now 9/100ths on lap 119, so he is coming.
Absolutely, each and every lap it is coming down, and it's possible that Smith really wore some off in the fresh part of, I mean, he was hard charging on Brendan Jenks in the very opening part of this stage. So, it's definitely to Finnegan's advantage to be able to get the tires up to temperature over a longer term and then be able to make the charge forward. And those long runs, part of somebody like Ronnie Norman's vocabulary very well, but you can see Finnegan just continuing to take the time right now out of Smith. That lead almost all the way back down to 2 seconds. It was almost 3 seconds just about 5 laps ago, and part of that may be that Smith is now starting to get into some of this lap traffic and he has to negotiate it.
Yeah, I was about to mention that Smith in a lot of lap traffic, it's forcing him to run the bottom, which throughout the race he's been running the top. So now he's got to lift off a little bit more to not get up into those guys because from what I heard, after about 25 to 30 laps, it starts getting real tight. So he's struggling with that, and now he almost got into the wall there as he's behind his teammate there. Gloria, oh man, he got to the outside of his teammate. That was close, though.
It was very close. We did see Cody Eldred going up and tagging the outside wall, too, and I was hoping that he was not going to ricochet and come down into Smith, but fortunately keeping control. And we've got one heck of a battle happening back here. This is for 5th place on the track, as Brennan Jenks still stays up in front in 4th. But this three-way battle right now, this is Harper, Gilbert, and Norman battling it out for 5th place.
Norman is rebounding really nice from his incident, as well as Harper. They're both having a good run now, and this is all they need. They need a solid night, a solid top 10. Their teammate Cody Height definitely needs the top 5, I would say. But Height, he's back in 9th, so he's on that cut. He was 3 out coming in, so we'll have to see at the end of the night if he's able to point his way in. But Height definitely needs a better finish than 9th.
What a run right now for Brennan Jenks, who stand up in 4th place. And he'll get a chance to come in with the rest of these drivers and get on the same pit stop strategy. Perhaps be able to stay up there on pace with everyone else. But Gilbert, Harper, Norman, Patty, and then you take a look back here a little ways, about 3.5 seconds back from that group, and here's Ryan Patty and Cody Height. So Height has managed to get back up into the top 10, giving himself a chance to get into the playoffs before this one is all over.
Yeah, he's got a chance, but Purcell, who's ahead of him in points, is 1 position behind him. So he's got to have Purcell have a worse race than what he's having right now in order to even think about making it in.
Well, and then this is the 2 brothers on track, Kyle and Sean Purcell. Is separated by a little bit there. The Sean in front, Kyle behind. And they're racing it out for that 10th spot on the track at the moment. Of course, I'm sure Kyle do his best to get his brother into the playoffs if possible. But Brian Smith, still your leader. How about this lead all the way down to 0.6 of a second? That's right, Nathan Finnegan running the fastest laps on track, and he is running down our leader, Brian Smith.
This is definitely impressive. Makes you think that the inside lane is definitely found its rhythm, and it's working now. So you're going to see people migrate down to the bottom now, knowing that it's working.
Oh, for certain. I mean, I've been saying it all along, Christian. Use that low lane. That's the fast way. No, it's like I said, it may be just that as the tires have aged, the car wants to handle a certain way that's more manageable on that low line. You get maybe that extra 1/10 of a second or 2/10 of a second. But I'll tell you what, it is about 2/10 of a second. That is the lead right there. You can see it on your screen. Brian Smith only has 2/10 of a second. It is down to 1 car length lead for Brian Smith. And here comes Nathan Finnegan on the low line. He's run him down, and he's going to try to take a look on that low line. Brian Smith helpless, running the outside line to what Nathan Finnegan has been able to do with the inside line here. He's got that car working beautifully. Is he going to actually take the position? We watch on to find out. It looks like he's going to be able to do so. Across the start-finish stripe that time, it was Nathan Finnegan. And we'll see how long he can hold it up there. So, as mentioned, all these drivers going absolutely as long as they can trying to hope that they can stay on that lead lap without having to pit. But look at this gaggle of cars up in front. How are these leaders going to get through? Finnegan really pauses. Brian Smith gets into the wall.
Yeah, something's got to give here. These guys have got to get out of the way of the leaders, and Smith made an aggressive move to the top, and that's just not it.
Smith into Bissonette, trying to get by, and now it looks like Finnegan has gotten stuck behind this mess as well. Bissonette up into the wall back there. Wow, what a rough go of it.
I mean, I get that you're the leader of the race, but these lap cars, these guys have something to fight for. They're still battling for position, so you just got to be patient and work your way through them. Brian Smith said, forget patience. I'm stuffing this thing in the wall, and I'm going 3 wide and making this happen.
Well, hey, if you're watching out on YouTube, say hello. Let us know who you're rooting on. Let us know where you're watching from. Always great to see new faces out there, and of course, we love all of those who return each and every week. We've got a heck of a battle here for the top spot. We are over halfway done, and the laps are clicking off quickly. Brian Smith and Nathan Finnegan engaged in a neck-and-neck battle for the top spot. We'll see whether or not Finnegan's low line can take the position away from Smith. I wonder if Smith just managed to survive. You know, like, if that push from Finnegan is just kind of slowed down now with those problems getting through the lap cars. But here we go,
He's
side by
trying to prove
side.
you wrong.
He
Here
is
comes.
indeed. Side by side they go. As long as we don't meet any more lap cars, Finnegan tries that inside line. Smith gives him room. He edges just in front. There you can see the view across Smith, as he does not want to let that University of Rhode Island machine go very far and take that position. They continue to race side by side here. It's been so many laps at Bristol Motor Speedway. Finnegan, a little bit of internet connectivity, but back on the track. Smith bringing that momentum on the high side, and they just continue to go side by side, but Smith scrapes the wall once again.
Yeah, he's somehow able to scrape the wall and just keep going like it's not even affecting him. But, I mean, you hit the wall too many times, it's going to start knocking the toe out in either your front or rear tires, so you got to be careful with how many times you hit it. But certainly, just scraping it every once in a while is fine with these cars. They have the composite body. They don't have the hard metal bodies anymore that can cut into a tire, so they can be a little bit more aggressive hitting the wall.
Well, and Brendan Jenks has now climbed back into third spot. So he's managed to take that position away from Cody Neal, who has now drifted back into the sixth spot. So Jenks,
I think these guys are going to have to deal with something they didn't plan on, and I think that's going to be green flag pit stops. And I think everyone coming into this said there's no way we're going to have green flag pit stops, so let's not practice it. But these guys are going to have to possibly do that here in a couple laps.
well, Christian, as we were talking about at the top of the broadcast, Bristol well known for going very long stretches of green flag racing. So I'm kind of surprised at that attitude of these drivers. But indeed, if we're talking realistically, he does the crossover move there, Nathan Finnegan, as some of these drivers have fresh tires.
Yeah, Hersey has already come into the pits, and he's got better tires than these guys, so he's got to be patient and try to work his way around, trying to unlap himself. I think he's about 4 laps down, so trying to get one of those back in the Snyder graphics scheme there provided for him.
That's a snazzy machine, certainly easily identifiable in the field. I know that if I were looking for a new paint scheme for my NASCAR Next Gen machine here on iRacing, I would turn to facebook.com/Snyder Graphics to try to get a snazzy paint scheme like that one. As he goes by, you can just tell That paint scheme really giving some extra speed to that Brock Hersey machine as he goes by. But look at what's happening here, and now that causes an incident. Yellow flag as Mike Jennings gets spun around.
I'm just gonna not comment on that one. I think that's the safest option here. We'll take a look at it, though. Mike Jennings involved in this one here. He's on newer tires, just riding the bottom, gets loose.
This was earlier.
This
was just before, and he gets it recovered.
No caution for that, I don't think.
No, that did not bring out the caution, but he brings it back onto the track and into the middle of everything. And then
he still has those cooled tires, and those cooled tires are pretty loose on them.
And then this is just moments later as he's holding down on the low line. And that...
Oh. Netcode, I believe.
Yeah. That's the safest way to say it. Let's...
Yep.
Netcode.
It looks like it's so close. I don't know if maybe he got loose at the same time, but it looks like Cody Eldred comes down the track right there. And yeah, you can see the 16 reacts to like he got hit on the outside, but he didn't. So iRacing just, oh wow, a lot of these cars hitting the wall to avoid them. I think 3 in a row just walled their cars in order to avoid them, but tough break there for the 16 of Mike Jennings. He was out there with newer tires, but everyone going to come into the pits here that's on the lead lap. And just to update the points battle, Cody Eldred actually battling Cody Height for that spot, as well as Purcell. So Purcell and Height are in 9th and 10th, and Eldred many laps down. Or he's only 1 lap down, so he's still in this if he gets the lucky dog here.
Well, Smith with the advantage of being the first car there on pit lane, easy to just drive straight off. Finnegan going to come out virtual second.
Well, look at this. Kyle Purcell stayed out. He's the leader now.
Well, he's shown in the pits, though, so I think...
Oh, yeah, he came back around. He stayed out 1 lap and comes back around.
Is this the track where you got to enter the pits and then you got to drive down 1/2 of the track and then you get to your pit lane on the other side of the track? So it's just weird pitting here. It's not like
it is
most of the tracks where it's just one big long pit lane. It's like half of the pits are on one half of the track and the other are on this side of the track, and so you got to make sure you know how to pit correctly.
But through the corners, you still have to be at pit road speed. So what happens is you enter it out of turn 2, go down the entire backstretch, then go around through 3 and 4 under the bottom, and then we'll come down through 1 and 2 onto the front stretch. But these guys might have done the situation where only half of pit road is usable, or not usable, I should say. If you qualified, I think in the top 20, you get the front stretch, and if you qualified further back, you get the back stretch.
And
which it does look like that's the case, because there's only 4 pit stalls on the backstretch.
Certainly, it's difficult to keep track of. Good thing that iRacing tells you where to pit. Otherwise, I mean, obviously, if you're here and it's the weekend and you're in real life, you know, you got the chance to scout out where your actual pit box is, but it can be quite confusing in the short amount of races. Here we go again. Brian Smith in the lead. Brendan Jenks Finnegan going to fight it out there for second on the restart. Jenks falling back into the clutches as Patty has fresh tires. All these drivers with fresh tires now going to... Whoa, Patty goes around. Patty.
It's cold tires. He's going to lock him up.
And 3 drivers, 4, 5 drivers, 6, 7 drivers caught up in this one.
It looked like for a second he locked up the brakes, but then let go as he was going back up the track. And whenever you do that, you're guaranteed to collect somebody and end somebody's night there.
Well, that is definitely unfortunate.
Patty was product of cold tires here.
He was racing so hard. Collects the 72, the 24.
Yeah, that's probably going to end Ryan's night. He hit that wall a ton. Almost flips over right there.
Well, let's go back on board here with the with Ryan. See what it looked like from on board. Could you save this machine? Man. You know, Christian, there's about 3 or 4 points of that crash where it's like, okay, I almost got it. Okay, now I can save it. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to go down to the inside. And then, oh no, I'm coming back onto the track. And I've just been collected by several cars. It's like, at some point, you're just a passenger. But that is seriously rough stuff. So we're going to take a momentary break here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. Lots more green flag action yet to come and the conclusion of this race. Stay tuned. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. You are watching live coverage of the Icon Cup Series regular season finale from Bristol Motor Speedway. We're on our 7th caution for incidents here, and we're just about to get this one going again. Brian Smith is your leader, Nathan Finnegan in 2nd, and Kyle Gilbert in 3rd. Brendan Jenks hanging on there in 4th place, and Ronnie Norman up into 5th. So Smith once again back on the hammer, but you can see Finnegan right there on his rear bumper, not giving an inch, and he looks like he's ready to go for it again.
He's certainly trying. It's going to take a few laps, I think, for the inside to come in, possibly. But Finnegan, if anyone knows how to do it, it's him. He's been running it all night so far.
Give a big shout out to Doug Jenks rooting on Brendan Jenks out there in our YouTube chat room. Great to have you watching on.
Whoa! Brian Smith almost lost it.
Seeing a great race as Brian Smith and Nathan Finnegan fighting it out. The top 2 positions right now. But here's Brendan Jenks back here fighting on, trying to take 3rd away from Kyle Gilbert and staying just in front of Ronnie Norman. That's your top 5 at the moment. Back up front, it looks like Finnegan about to try to make another move. He slams it down to the inside on Brian Smith. And it looks like Smith going to hang on for this lap. Finnegan blinking out just a little bit with that connection, but he manages to hold on to it. And it's just, we're coming up to the 200 mark faster than you can count it. So these drivers, as quick as it may seem like, you know, still got 70, just under 70 laps to go, it will fly by So you've got to get done what you need to get done out there. As Finnegan has a tank slapper and goes up and touches the wall.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard hit. We'll see if that affects him, but he's hoping it doesn't, as he's going to try to run back down Brian Smith here. Got lap traffic up ahead of Brian Smith. That's the 57 there. I believe the gain machine.
Indeed, Thomas Taylor in 20th place up there, just trying to get through the end of this race.
Man, look how much wheel Nathan Finnegan is wheeling this thing. He got loose off that last corner, had to wheel it. I love whenever these guys wear the bright gloves that you can see them through the windshields and able to see how much their hands are working in the car.
Well, you know, this is allowing Kyle Gilbert to actually close in, and Gilbert is closing fairly rapidly right now, under 0.3 of a second, so we'll keep an eye on that, but look how close this battle has now gotten for Gilbert.
Yeah, the thing you got to worry about in that case is, are you running the tires off a little bit too quick? Because even though it's 70 laps and it's going to go by quick, those tires are only going to last about 30 laps pushing them that hard before you start getting pretty tight.
And that could come into effect, as we have had this last green flag stretch going on for quite a long time. We'll see whether or not we can keep it green, but if we do, that is going to paint a whole different strategy for the end of this race. So we might see somebody who's held on to their tires a little bit better come forward, but this battle really tightening up here for the top 5 positions. Brian Smith has not been able to walk away from Nathan Finnegan. And here comes Finnegan again down to the low side. Is he going to try to take that position away again? He tries to stuff it in there, but Smith on that outside line still getting that momentum.
I tell you what, the points battle is also shaping up to be really wild, because Height is only 2 points back from Sean Purcell. So he needs to get up there and get some positions, but he is 5 seconds back from Purcell. So some tough break for Height. Maybe not going to be able to get back up there, but it looks like Cody Eldred going to be eliminated from this one, possibly. But nothing's official, because these guys do have 2 drop races, so we'll have to see what it is after the 2 drops are applied.
Watching on as, Finnegan gets cut off severely there.
Oh man, you hate to see that.
Why? I'm not sure why that lap car decided to change lanes in the middle of the track. But Finnegan, as a result, now drifts backwards. And it looks like Ronnie Norman has now cleared on the high side on Brendan Jenks. So Ronnie Norman now up into 3rd spot. And is he going to try to go for 2nd now on Kyle Gilbert?
He's certainly trying. He made a little peek going into the corner on the outside. Let's see if he's able to work the top and get around Gilbert. You've seen the bottom being used by Brian Smith. Now Norman going to try the bottom underneath him. I think the bottom's there now. I think this is the place that he's going to have to go to pass Gilbert. As Gilbert says no, the outside's working a little bit better.
Well, it seems to be corner by corner, lap by lap, and driver by driver.
Lap car. The more damage that these lap cars take, the slower they get, so the closing speed is wicked fast, especially on a half mile where you're hitting 14.5-second laps.
Kind of crazy, that closing speed. You'd hope that NASCAR administration would be out there flagging some of these guys for not being able to keep up with the minimum speed, but they continue. And everybody gets an opportunity to be out there. Looks like Ryan Patty taking the cue, though, coming down onto pit lane. Going to take himself out of this one, perhaps, as Ronnie Norman unable to make that pass on Kyle Gilbert. He'll stay in, trying to get it done, but there's Nathan Finnegan now working on the outside of Brendan Jenks. Jinx really holding on well here, but sliding back into 5th place. Racing extremely well here at Bristol and still in contention for the overall win. I mean, this is a very tight battle. I mean, we're talking about, how about right now, less than 0.8 of a second separating our top 5 right now. This is an incredible battle happening for this finale of the regular season.
Yeah, I will be the first to admit, I mean, coming into this, I thought, yellows were going to be pretty frequent. But these guys doing a fantastic job here at Bristol. I think we're under 10 cautions tonight, which is very impressive here for the guys here in Icon. So I think those rules are taking effect and making the product better already.
Well, of course, I don't know how this is going to work out with the drop races, but if we just go off of points alone, Patty was at the top end of the regular season points. And as it is right now, Brian Smith would, just on points alone, take the regular season crown here for the Icon Cup Series. Very close to him would be Ronnie Norman.
Oh, Brian Smith around. He saved it, though. Kyle Gilbert going to take the lead off of him.
My goodness me. Gilbert going to try that high side as Brian Smith has a momentary lapse. And
block Ronnie.
He does block Ronnie. And, we've got 2 cars. That's Tim Harper.
Oh, and that's going to be a caution, and Brian Smith took the lead back out of that, and Norman takes second.
Kyle Purcell and Tim Harper involved in that incident.
Oh, man.
It took a minute for that to come out. Let's see if we can tell what happened. Here's Purcell just drifting up the track a little bit, gets into the quarter panel of Harper, and Harper spins down, and then Purcell punches a hole through Harper's machine.
I got to take a look at that from another angle, because I don't know if maybe Harper started arcing the corner to try to get low, and they were just going for the same position at the same time, because this car, it drifts up the track in the corner. That's a normal line, but yeah, you can see Harper already turning down to try to make the corner, and there was a car down there still.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm seeing it a little bit differently. It does look to me like Purcell drifts up a little bit out of his lane.
Watch from the blimp cam, you can see right there Harper starts turning down as Kyle Purcell loses it and goes up. So it's kind of 2 cars just going for the same position at the same time in a corner, and that's never going to work no matter what track we're at.
Absolutely. And this happening a little bit later, I guess. Norman having to slow down on the track during the yellow flag, but not actually crashing, just triggering our machine to say that possibly they did crash. And here we go. Final pit stops underway. Brian Smith leads them down. He has that front pit stop box, so certainly not going to be a problem for him to get back off first. Cody Neal stayed out for an extra lap, but he'll pull it down into the pits. And it looks like Ronnie Norman going to get out second ahead of Kyle Gilbert.
Well, now it put Gilbert in second, so let's see how they... Yep, Norman got him.
He did indeed. I think Gilbert thought he had the position, but Norman took that spot. And everybody took 4 tires. So I know you're not very surprised, Christian, but nobody gambling.
Not at all.
Nobody gambling taking just 2 tires or no tires on that stop.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's possible that if we get another caution with about 10 to go, we see one of these guys pull it into the pits, take 4 tires, and try to use up a set of tires. We've seen tires be better after about 25 laps, and we still got about 37, 38 to go, so it's possible.
Well, and also over in our YouTube chat room, got an appearance from the owner of Nightmare Motorsports, Nick Geilis, checking in saying Timmy held his line in that corner. So, I don't know, Christian.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Absolutely.
That
I'll go back and I'll look at it and check it out and see and make sure. But everyone's got their opinions, and I have mine.
is the great Nick Geilis checking in with us in YouTube chat, letting us know his opinion. What's your thoughts out there, folks? Feel free to chime in. Let us know what you think. It's always hot and heavy racing here in the Icon Cup Series. We always appreciate everybody looking in. Here we go. We are set for some fun here in the regular season finale. Who's it going to be that takes the checkered flag first? Brian Smith out in front. Nathan Finnegan, he's going to sail on the high side. Ronnie Norman's forced to settle back in third. We've got quite a battle. How about Cody Hyde on YouTube? He manages to get up there into fourth. Can he stay there? This would be magical for him. He would probably transfer into the playoffs if he can keep holding on to this fourth place. Cody Neal battling it out behind Kyle Gilbert, who's been part of the top three. Back there, you see Brendan Jenks just touched the wall. So Jenks now sliding backwards a little bit, but still up in the top 10 in 7th place. And Cody Hyde being held on that low line. There comes Neal on the outside. Neal going to try to take the position.
It's Cody versus Cody here for the fourth spot. It looks like Cody Neal going to make it work on the outside. Now Brendan Jenks going to take advantage of the outside. Cody Hyde struggling on that inside to get everything working. Jenks is going to clear Hyde now, and you can see Hyde now under fire from Purcell, but he's got to finish ahead of Purcell if there's no drop races, because Purcell would be tied right now if he finishes behind Cody Hyde, and they door each other on the straightaway here.
Well, as fascinating as this battle is, we've got another fascinating battle happening up front. Just a moment ago, Finnegan was side by side with Brian Smith for that top spot. So we'll keep an eye on both of these battles as now Purcell has moved in front of Hyde, and Hyde trying to do everything he can to stay in front, but looks like this might be the race for Purcell back there to move ahead into the playoffs. We'll see whether or not Hyde has any magic left up his sleeve as we get to the end of this one, but still just a little under 25 laps to go. I can hear some cars smashing into concrete back there, but no yellow flags. We stay green as Brian Smith still your leader here at Bristol with Nathan Finnegan in second. Ronnie Norman now creeping into this battle in third. Last time by personal best fastest time for Ronnie Norman, a 14.62. Norman is storming to the front. He wants this victory here in Bristol. He's been held down a couple of races now, but he wants to take victory. He doesn't just want to be the regular season champion without taking a win. He wants it all. He's going to try to go for it all here, coming up with just 25 laps to go at Bristol.
Yeah, he definitely would want that regular season championship, but with Brian Smith running first right now, there's no mathematical way that Ronnie can get that. But he can still get the win, and that's what he's going to try to do, is he's going to go to the outside here, try to get a run on Nathan Finnegan here for second place. He's there. Let's see if he's able to make that work, as he's got a lap car to navigate here. He's going to go to the middle, 3 wide. All right, that was a good decision by Ronnie. He backed out of that. Now, I applaud that move right there. Even though there's 24 to go, he didn't want to make it 3 wide and get risky.
That is some long-term thinking there by Ronnie Norman to not try to stay in there like some of the other drivers might have chosen to do in that instance. Instead, here he is. He's going to take a look on that outside of Nathan Finnegan heading into the corner.
There's lap cars. They were 2 wide there for a second. See if they get it sorted out. They will. They'll go to the top. That's going to force Ronnie to fall in line again with Finnegan here. Oh, Finnegan missed the bottom. Ronnie going to let him have it, though.
Exciting stuff at the front end of this race. Fighting it out for first, second, and third. It's Brian Smith in front. Nathan Finnegan in second. Ronnie Norman in third. This is one tight battle. see who takes the final victory in the Icon Cup Series regular season. Just behind Cody Neal into 4th place. Brendan Jenks holding in that top 5. Kyle Gilbert in 6th place. Sean Purcell in 7th. Cody Height, the last car on the lead lap, in 8th place. And he's just fighting. Cody is back there to try to get that position away from Purcell, but he's slipping back a second back from Purcell now, so his hopes of being in these playoffs slowly starting to erode. But this is where the real fight is on right now. Brian Smith, your leader, with 16 laps to go at the stripe. There's Finnegan still taking the challenge from Ronnie Norman, and this is allowing Smith to just get about 5 car lengths gap over Finnegan, and that's exactly what he wants.
Yeah, the more these guys battle and wear off their tires, the more Brian can just kind of cruise and save his tires up front there. You can see he's kind of running the middle of the track. He's not dedicated to one line or the other. So he's saving tires by just running nice and easy. But these guys giving it everything they got right now. Brian Smith able to pull away now.
And I tell you what, look now, there's Cody Neal and Brandon Jenks coming into this one. So Brendan doing a great job in 5th place just to hang on, but so far, just by staying nose to tail instead of fighting it out for position, they're now closing in on Ronnie Norman in 3rd place.
Yeah, these guys saved their tires a little bit. You can see that now they have their tires warmed up and they're coming. But you can still see battling with lap cars. Finnegan way down to the bottom, Smith up top. Finnegan has brought that lead back down now.
He has indeed. Well, Ronnie Norman backing off a little bit of those top 2 drivers. That's allowed Finnegan to refocus, reconcentrate on what he wants to do with that race car. And now Cody Neal all over the back end of Ronnie Norman for position. Brendan Jenks now going to take a look down the inside of Cody Neal. There comes Jenks.
Well, Jenks got a little loose on exit. Going to have to check up a little bit. It's going to ruin his momentum there. Now he's got to try to regather it up and go on attack mode again here. He's going to use the outside, see if he can get a run on the backstretch.
Well, just 9 laps to go now for Brian Smith, 8 at the line. As he crosses that finish line, he can count it off, but he is still having to duck through some of this lap traffic just out the back porch. There's Nathan Finnegan. You can see in the background Cody Neal, Brendan Jenks still trying to race it out for position, having to deal with the lap traffic themselves. Does Brian Smith have this one in hand? It is potentially all over, as now we see Neal trying to race down to the inside of Jenks. Jenks on the back bumper of Ronnie Norman. This is for the virtual 3rd place on the track.
Those 2 are friends, Ronnie and Jenks. Jenks trying to help Norman there a little bit, give him a little bump draft past him.
Well, that outside line has been the way to go for a lot of this race, but Cody Neal making the inside work. We saw it from Finnegan earlier. We're seeing it from Neal here. We'll see whether or not they can manage to hold on. Right now, Brian Smith out in front of this battle by about 2.5 seconds, and Jenks gets a little loose coming down the track. Cody Neal,
he's trying to debate which lane he wants, whether he wants the inside with Neal or outside with Norman. Norman's got a lap car now of Percy. He's going to try to use him as a pick. Not able to. Now Jenks going to jump to the top.
And Cody Neal able to take that position away. Now it looks like Norman and Jenks back into 4th and 5th. Here comes Jenks on the low side. He'll take that position. Say thank you very much, Ronnie. I'll take 4th. White flag out for Brian Smith just one more time around. Nathan Finnegan, Collar City Racing, holding on to a strong 2nd place, and Cody Neal now emerges clear of 3rd, but it's all Brian Smith here. He takes victory, the final round of the regular season for the Icon Cup Series at Bristol. Nathan Finnegan takes that hard-fought 2nd place, almost good enough to get up there and batter Brian Smith into receding, and he almost took the top spot, but not quite good enough tonight. And as a result, there's some extracurricular activity after the checkered flag. But Smith going to take the regular season. Unless there's something that goes on with those drop races, but Brian Smith going to take the regular season championship and take the most wins here in the regular season as well. Congratulations to Brian as he celebrates on track. There, Vincent Loria also celebrating for some reason. Nathan,
those are all teammates right there celebrating.
I see. Certainly, get out there, celebrate. Cody Neal as well. 313 Motorsports has so much to celebrate. But we're going to take a moment here. We're going to get final results together, and we will be back with interviews with the top 3 finishers right here at VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. You saw it live. Brian Smith, he had all kinds of challenges for that top spot, mostly from Nathan Finnegan. But fact of the matter is, Nathan Finnegan not able to take the top spot, and Brian Smith able to walk away with victory here, round number 11 at Bristol. Congratulations to him, and congratulations taking, I believe, this is provisional, but I believe taking the regular season championship. We wait for final word on that. Nathan Finnegan in second place tonight for Collar City Racing. 313 Motorsports, 2 cars in podium position with Cody Neal. Last week's winner in Kansas follows it up with a podium position here tonight. Congratulations to him. Brendan Jenks manages to get Ronnie Norman there on the last couple of laps. He holds on to a great top 5 in 4th place for Full Send Esports. 5th going to Ronnie Norman at Harper Motorsports, the top Harper machine tonight. Kyle Gilbert in 6th place. Sean Purcell in 7th. 8th going to Cody Height. 9th, Adam Ball. 10th, Justin Bissonette. 11th, Cody Eldred. 12th, Mike Jennings. 13th, Brock Hersey. 14th, Timothy Harper. 15th, Vincent Loria. 16th, Stephen Tuck. 17th, Ryan Patty. A lot of question marks for Ryan tonight as he had a lot on the line, unfortunately, ending up all the way back in 17th and perhaps losing that regular season title. Kyle Purcell back in 18th place. 19th for Thomas Taylor. 20th for Brad Delph. Brad also up there in the front as well. Difficult for him, I'm sure, to settle and have to park that machine. Jackson Glenn Austin, rough night for him, back in 21st place. Anthony Campbell, another non-typical night for Campbell, back in 22nd place. Hanover Fist in 23rd, and Justin Michael only got in 3 laps out there tonight. So, Christian, this was a lot of fun here tonight, and these 3 had the most fun. It looks like Cody Neal, we're going to get a chance to chat with him here coming up momentarily. See if we can corral him into our booth. There we go. Cody Neal, congratulations. 3rd place out there. What a fantastic drive forward. You had it pretty much, this race had it all for you, but a lot of passes you got to make out there. Congratulations on a stellar drive into 3rd, and 313 Motorsports has so much to celebrate tonight.
Yeah, thanks guys. It was that was definitely a fun race. Got a lot more green flag laps than what I thought. And yeah, I mean, I'm pleased with where I finished here tonight, you know, coming off a big win last week, and to be back in the booth talking to you guys again, feels good.
Well, and let's talk about that. You take the big W last week. You punch your ticket into the playoffs. It, of course, takes some of the pressure off. But did it feel that way tonight? Did it feel like, hey, I can just go out there and race. I don't have to worry about getting in the playoffs. I don't have to go for points. I can just do what I need to do here at Bristol tonight?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There was no pressure at all. You know, like you said, being locked in like that really makes a big difference on what you're able to do within the race. Yeah, I mean, looking forward to what's next. You know, Texas. It's a good track. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Of course, everybody going to be having those playoffs coming up, and you're right there knee-deep with your teammate Brian Smith, going to be looking at potential championship for yourself, Cody, Neil, or Brian. But tonight, there was a lot of struggles. We were watching on screen the very last restart. You had to start from 8th place, I believe it was, 7th or 8th place there on the track. Talk about what it was like tonight, making passes, having to deal with traffic. Was it difficult? Is this one of the toughest races of the season for you?
Yeah, I mean, the passing was much harder at the end of a run than like a restart, just because it got so tight. Everybody's just running the top and there's nowhere else to be. But on restarts, you could pretty much be wherever you wanted. Preferred line was right there in the middle, like Brian was running on that real long run. But that really ate your tires up, and then you were stuck at the top because your tires were just toast. But I think my tires got down to 29% on my right front at that long run, just running the top like that.
Well, it was a stellar drive to get into third, and of course, you've already been looking at it for a couple of weeks, but thoughts on the playoffs coming up?
We'll see what we can do. You know, hopefully we can make some noise and hopefully make the championship 4. That'd be cool, but we'll see what happens.
Got to take it one race at a time, and of course, get into that next round. So congratulations on your drive to third here tonight, following up last week's win. That's 2 podiums in a row. Who would you like to thank for your run to success tonight?
Brian, once again. He demonstrated that line right there in the middle of the track, and I made that work for most of the night. And then we both kind of went to the bottom at the same time. But yeah, him, Vinny, Jacob, he hasn't been in here too much. He's getting married, so congratulations to him. But yeah, all the guys really boosting everybody else's confidence. You guys are phenomenal in the booth every week. Really appreciate you guys. Ryan Patty putting on the league. Done a phenomenal job in the opening season. And excited to see where this league goes here in the future.
Absolutely. A lot of fun in the Icon Cup Series, and what a great race tonight. A lot of excitement going into the playoffs. Congratulations, Cody. Great run there, and 313 had so much to celebrate tonight. I'll let you get off to celebrate, and we'll look forward to seeing you at Texas.
Yep, thank you, guys.
That is Cody Neal, who takes third place out there, and as you can see on your screen, our next round going to be at Texas, so we've got Talladega and Charlotte. That is the first round of the playoffs, and that's 3 very interesting tracks, 2 D-shapers and 1 wide-open draft fest. It's gonna be an interesting one, and perhaps you can ask Nathan Finnegan about that. I know you've caught up with him, Christian.
Yeah, we just caught up here with Nathan Finnegan, our second place finisher. For a while there, we thought maybe you had something for Brian Smith. You were battling real hard there with about 30 to 40 to go, and just come up short, get second place. But a heck of a run for you tonight. Tell us how you ran that race.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, big shout out to the 78. I appreciate him running a respectable race there, and we definitely, I think we definitely had him for the 6 car. We were set up for the long run for sure, and we were saving all night on the bottom, and we were able to take away that lead in the middle of that run and get good battles going on, and just couldn't complete the pass, and then we just kind of got into multiple cautions and short run after short run, and he definitely had the pace for me there. But yeah, I mean, we're definitely happy with the end result, and big shout out to the CCR, ECR guys, and keeping it clean all night and running a good race.
Did the damage from the lap car that you got into affect you at all, you think, or did that have no effect on your car there toward the late end of the race?
No, honestly, I think me pancaking the flag stand actually did more to my pace than anything else. I got a little bit of optional for that. Nothing too extreme, but no, when I hit tuck there, I don't think it really damaged much at all. I was surprised, but yeah, we felt gripped up all night and just got good turn off and just couldn't quite make the pass when we needed to, and I think then it was kind of just follow the leader, but
Oh, you're locked into the playoffs with your win earlier in the season. So you got 3 races coming up here. You got Texas, Talladega, and Charlotte. Kind of 3 different animals. What are you thinking going into the first round in the playoffs for you?
yeah, I think we definitely like Texas. Typically run well there, and Talladega is the track that we in our group we definitely thrive on the super speedway. So looking forward to doing some drafting. Charlotte's always a good time as well. I mean, the intermediates we feel good on, and the super speedways as well. And we've had some good momentum in the past couple of weeks going into this playoff. So hopefully, we keep progressing. So hopefully Texas, maybe we can capitalize and bring this thing to victory lane.
What are your expectations for the rest of the season? You thinking Final Four, or what's the? I know that's probably the plan, is the Final Four. So do you think you're going to be able to capitalize on that?
Definitely have our eyes set on it with how well we've been able to run this number 6 machine. I mean, I think we definitely got the pace to get there. It's just a matter of if chips kind of fall our way and we're just able to capitalize on good situations when they come to us. So.
Well, you've been capitalizing on them all season. So again, congrats on second. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we send you on your way here for the night?
Yeah, big shout out to the CCR, ECR guys. You guys for putting this all together and doing this for us. We definitely appreciate all of our Icon fans. Appreciate it. Big shout out to my dad and my mom. They watch, my fiance, and yeah, just appreciate all the support all season.
All right, again, man, congrats on your second place finish, and good luck in the first and second round of the playoffs, and good luck, and hopefully you're able to make it to Phoenix.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Trevor, I believe you are finally over to Victory Lane. You ran your way over there to catch up with our winner, Brian Smith.
A good one.
Whew, out of breath. Getting over here to Victory Lane with a very happy and celebrating Brian Smith, who is just, there's confetti all over the place. Brian, congratulations taking the victory here for round number 11 at Bristol, and I'm waiting for final confirmation as to whether that means that you've taken the regular season championship, but it certainly looks like you have. Congratulations, a great run to victory here tonight.
Wow, I didn't know about the regular season points. Thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun tonight. I love racing at Bristol, and glad I was able to pull it off.
Absolutely. Well, you were only 5 points back. This sent to us by Ryan Patty ahead of time, but I don't, until we get official confirmation of that, it's too early to speculate on that. But Ryan falling much further back in the order tonight, of course, that would mean that. But still, it's been a great run for you this season. You've taken now multiple victories. But talk about tonight specifically. What was the challenges in front of you? Did you feel that pressure coming from Finnegan and numerous others? Was this a really challenging race to stay out there and get this W?
Yeah, it all started with qualifying. You had to make sure you hit a good lap, and I did, thankfully. And I was able to stay out front the whole first stage and didn't really get a long run in there. So I didn't know that I was really cooking my tires a lot worse than some of these guys like Nathan. We got that long run in about the middle of the race, and he was way better than me on the long run. So I absolutely cooked my stuff. But other than that, it was just pit strategy, trying to make sure to keep the lead. And I think aside from one restart, I had the lead on pretty much everything tonight, and that's what I was aiming for. So it all worked out. I almost threw it away a couple times there. I got really lucky. I think it was lap 207 or 208. I got loose out of 4, and I think the 227 got by me. And thankfully for me, On the next lap, there was a couple lap down cars that were racing side by side, and he had to check up for him as they were making contact, and I got back by him before the caution came. But yeah, if that didn't happen, I don't know if I would have won this thing, because it was just impossible to pass, on a long run. But got it done, and stayed mistake free after that.
Well, as you mentioned, I don't know how you got so lucky. That was a serious lucky run there to be able to not only catch the car but retain that position. But nevertheless, here tonight, you did employ a little bit of a different line, and your teammate Cody Neal talking about picking up on that line and then moving down to the bottom. Were you hyper aware of exactly the right place to put that car tonight? Was that something that you were focusing on, moving up the track, down the track, feeling the tires out? What was your strategy regarding picking the line to run each and every lap?
Yeah, the line for me tonight was the middle. Whether or not that was the right thing to do on a long run, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I was pushing it too hard or if it was the line that I was running, but that was definitely not what you want to do for a long run, which is why at the end of the race I ended up moving all the way to the bottom, just because I was a little more loose off the corners and late in the race off the bottom than I was at the beginning. So I was afraid to run the middle and then have a late race yellow happen, and then bunch everyone back up and have to be on worse tires than them. So I was a little afraid to run the middle, but that's where I felt the best for sure. And then like when Nathan caught up to me, it was, just run the top to protect, and that's all you got to do at Bristol, at least in this format with this car. Run the top. It's nearly impossible without getting in lap traffic a bad way. It's nearly impossible to lose the lead as long as you're pretty close on speed, anyways.
Well, watching along, it was a lot of fun to watch you vary that line, and it seemed like nobody could quite get that pass done, and we watched Finnegan try so many times, but just unable to do so. Looking forward, of course, you're now going to be more than locked into the playoffs, so talk us through what are your thoughts on Texas and Talladega and Charlotte.
Feel pretty good about Texas. I hate Talladega. Who knows what's going to happen there? And then Charlotte, are we running the oval or the roval? I honestly don't even know.
It'll be the oval.
Yeah, unless you want to do 135 laps on the roval.
Yeah, honestly, I probably rather would. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not crazy about Charlotte for a 1.5 mile oval. I'll probably put some more practice in that week than normal. I'm not crazy about the oval, but certainly wish we were racing at the oval, but oh well. Yeah, I guess I'll just have to prepare a little more.
Well, it'll be interesting to track as you have managed to find so much success here in the Icon Cup Series. Congratulations once again, not only taking the victory here tonight, but presumably the regular season title. Of course, we'll update everybody next week with that. One heck of a run here, and you held off all challengers. Congratulations, and we'll, of course, see you next week heading into the playoffs.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing the broadcast. Shout out to everyone else on track tonight. Everyone did a great job. We got some green flag runs in there. That's always fun at Bristol. So, great job, everyone.
And presumably a shout out to your teammates and some of the others.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. Brian Smith, a fabulous run to victory, and he's going to come in as one of the absolute favorites here in the Icon Cup Series in the playoffs. We'll see you next week, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
That is Brian Smith for 313 Motorsports. Spectacular win in amazing fashion. Christian, this was an amazing run through this whole race. It seemed like there was so many challenges for that top spot, but just nobody could manage to take it away from Brian, and yet some familiar faces, they managed to find their way up to the front. You got Finnegan up there, Neal, Jenks somehow managed to pull out a top 5, gaining 16 spots, and Ronnie Norman gets a top 5, but also Ryan Patty, one of the favorites, and came in with the lead in the points. he dropped all the way back and ended up 17th here tonight. I think this is maybe just a preview of some of the topsy-turviness we might expect in these playoffs.
Yeah, and speaking of playoffs, I think we just had the official standings for those playoffs announced. Waiting on confirmation here because it does say following Bristol. So it looks like Cody Height, Sean Purcell, Justin Bissonette, Vincent Loria, Tim Harper, Adam Ball, and Ronnie Norman, all those who made it in that were not locked in before tonight.
Oh, and it does appear as though Scott Patton, despite his win, did not make enough starts, and therefore he does not make the playoffs. And so that is confirmation. Cody Eldred, Mike Jennings, and Kyle Gilbert just outside. I mean, we're talking 2 points, 3 points for those drivers missing the playoffs. Cody Height, as you said, Sean Purcell, Justin Bissonette, Vincent Loria, Tim Harper, Adam Ball, and Ronnie Norman all making it on points. Everyone else, unfortunately, not able to do so. So, Christian, a lot of fun here tonight. We've got, of course, some great playoffs coming up. We encourage everybody to tag that big subscribe button and become part of the VirtualRacing.Network family. Why not? You know, it's so easy. Then you'll be in the know when we have our upcoming races, such as tomorrow night for the NORA Truck Series, and then the following night for the NORA Cup Series. Why would you need to go anywhere else for all of your iRacing live on VirtualRacing.Network? And then, of course, if you can, smash the like button, and so many more people will find out about it. Hey, thank you to all of you who have been watching. We've crossed 500 subscribers. It's a dream come true for all of us, and certainly have enjoyed producing all of these different videos for all of you folks. And of course, Christian, you've been a huge part of it this whole season for Icon and for NORA. It's been a pleasure doing all these races with you, my friend.
Yeah, plan to finish out the season in all three. I mean, I only got one race in the NORA Truck Series coming up. I'm racing Talladega, so that's the only race you won't have me, but other than that, I'm here for the long haul.
You'll still be in it as an in-race reporter, though, I bet, right?
Oh, for sure, if you want to interview me under caution, but green flag, no way.
Well, either way, it's been so much fun doing this. We appreciate everybody checking in with us over on YouTube. Sean Purcell saying, I'm already subscribed. We appreciate that, my friend, and we look forward to seeing you in the playoffs as well.
Subscribe again.
Yes, subscribe again. Use all of your accounts. We appreciate it. We'll see everybody next week for the Icon Cup Series for the playoffs starting at Texas. But of course, tomorrow night, Monday night, you'll be here for the NORA Truck Series at Bristol. Until then, I'm Trevor Greenfield. This is Christian Snyder. On behalf of everybody here in the Icon Cup Series, we wish you well tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night's sleep, everybody. Bye-bye.